Hi everyone. So I wanted to create a quick overview of how to use NotebookLM from Google if you've never used it before. It is entirely free AI application, again from Google. So you'll log into NotebookLM from google.com. You might have to create an account, but it's entirely free. And so when you log in, if you've used it before, you're going to have all your different notebooks. If you've never been in here before, this will be blank because you won't have any notebooks. So what you want to do is click on Create New, and this will create a new notebook like one of these here. And so you'll notice your first source here. You can upload files, you can use Google Docs, Google Slides. It doesn't allow you to use PowerPoint at this point. You can add web links, YouTube, or if you just want to paste in text, you can also upload PDF files and audio and whatnot from here. So I have a few articles that I found that we're just going to talk about the declining population in Japan. So some very different kind of perspectives. So we can just go here, and once we've found the articles we want to discuss or have NotebookLM discuss, we can just copy this, for example, and we'll go to website, and we'll just paste the URL in here, and then we'll say insert. And so now we go over here, these are our sources. So what these sources are the information that we are going to use to explain, have NotebookLM explain kind of the population decline. So it's going to call on this. And so you can see here that this article, it's already kind of summarized what the article is going to be about. Let's add another source. We'll want to use this declining population, and we'll just copy this again. And so if we go back to here, we can say, let's add a new source. And again, it'll be a website. We can insert that. And so then we can, so if you have them checked, then it'll be, if they're checked, it'll be included in all the analysis, and when we get to podcasts, it'll include that. If we don't want to include that source, you can uncheck it, and then that source will not be used in any of the analysis that it provides. And the next one we want to do is, let's do a YouTube video, so we can get this, we'll just copy the link here. And we can go back to add a source, YouTube, paste it in here, and insert. And so then we have there. So if we click on that, it'll kind of talk about the summaries of it. You can go to the article, you can close it here, kind of gives you a little discussion about it as well. So we have this. So now what we can do is we can create different things. We can add more notes. We can create a briefing document. We can cut a study guide. So let's just, for here, let's real quickly, let's do a briefing document. We can ask questions here if we want to like summarize an article. We can do that. Let's create a briefing document. Let's just create a briefing let's create a briefing document for everything. So after a minute or so, it creates this briefing document. And here we can have all the details. So the main themes and key of the declining population, the impacts. So it creates this nice document that we can kind of have for our analysis. So you can also delete it. We can make study guides, frequently asked questions. You can ask questions about the articles, which I recommend and encourage you to do. So the next thing that you can do with this is you can create a deep dive conversation. So you can actually customize this. So if you wanted it to focus on certain things, if you didn't want it to always say, we're doing a deep dive, so you can kind of customize this as well. So you can kind of give it instructions. So I encourage you to play with that, but let's just generate a conversation on this. So after about 3 or 4 minutes, it created a 10-minute podcast, and we can give that a listen.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into Japan's population paradox today.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like one of those riddles.
So as you notice, there's 2 podcasts hosts here, a man and a woman, and they're discussing population decline. But what's also very interesting, and it's new, is there's this interactive mode where as the podcast is happening, you can actually interact with the hosts. So let's give that a try.
It does.
Yeah. Can it come?
And so we'll click on the join.
Yeah.
So
Like one of those
click
things.
on.
It does.
Whoa, did someone just break the fourth wall? Let's hear it.
So describe how the population decline is going to be detrimental to the workforce.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So you're asking about the direct impact on the workforce.
Exactly. What happens when fewer people are working?
Well, one of the biggest things is labor shortages, which we'll get into more later.
Yeah, the sources are pretty clear on that.
So as you see, we can kind of interact with this podcast. So as it's kind of going on and we feel it comes up to a point where there's something that maybe you want to learn more about or you don't understand, you can click in the join, you can kind of ask a question and give it a minute or two, and then the hosts will come and give you a question or an answer to that. So there's lots and lots of features here that we have not discussed, adding notes, but this gives you kind of an overview or an understanding of how to use the basics of NotebookLM, but I encourage you to experiment with these types of things.